Evening, folks. Evening, Steelers. Oh, there's already a few people. Achilles, hello. Charles Latoya, morning. Evening from the UK. CC Audi, evening. Good afternoon from Colorado. Good stuff. Good to have you on board, CC. And James, hello. How are you doing? Shakers and Sprues, good evening to you as well. That's nice to have you all on board. Obviously, hit that old like button if you're watching and you're enjoying. This is my first live stream since CrackCon. Evening, enemy in sight. Good to have you on board. Oh, and old school FRP as well. Good to have you on board as well. I hope everybody's all right. What are you all painting tonight? Tell me that, if nothing else. Evening, Kevin. Good to have you on board. Let me know what you're all up to tonight. I've got a couple of things on my desk right now. You can probably see. I don't know if you can make them out. I've got yet another one of these buildings. I've got 7 of these left. So I'm just trying to work my way. Evening, Paul, and evening, friends of General Haig, Andy. So I'm just trying to work my way through the rest of these buildings now. This is another one that I've done. I do actually need to make a video about these at some point, so I will do that. It's going to be a relatively easy thing to do, I think. But I just wanted to get, like I said, just kind of really work away on these things. Mortisik. You're working, Achilles. Oh, good. Well, I'm glad I'm keeping you company whilst you work. Assembling a ton of 50mm Battlefront miniatures. And blaming Stone Steel. Hashtag. What can you do? What can you do? I'm sorry about that. Well, no, I'm not sorry. Good, I think, is the short answer there. Yeah, I know. I saw the massive pile of them you bought at the weekend, James. So, are you going to be using those for O Group? Or are you going to be using them for other things as well? Is it a combination of stuff? But also, speaking of 50mm, I've got a load of them here. I've got these Plastic Soldier Company American heavy weapons. And I've got terrain for Sudan, excellent. A 50mm locomotives, pad out the terrain for Chain of Command Eastern Front, excellent, from Mr. Blue. I don't know if you can see that. This is the Plastic Soldier Company's US heavy weapons. It's the one that came through a while back. I've kind of been putting off messing about with these because they're a bit fiddly to put together. They're okay, they're just a little difficult, and they don't come in with bases, so I've had to mount them on my own bases, and I'm just a little worried about how they're going to stick to these bases, because it's only super glue, which is quite brittle, but we'll go with it. I'm painting these ones up for O Group, and I only need a couple of extra ones. I did think about getting some from Peter Pig, but I decided not to get some from Peter Pig because I wanted to use these ones because they're the same as the other Plastic Soldier Company ones I've got already for the Americans. But I did get some stuff from Peter Pig, which should be coming through in the next couple of days, which is going to be some 105 howitzers and things just for O Group, like for supports and stuff like that. What are we all saying? Paul's saying finishes excuse me, Argentinian artillery tonight, prepping another battalion of Chileans. Brilliant. You'll be pleased to know, Paul, I was just playing Hearts of Iron 4 earlier on as Argentina, and I'd already taken out Uruguay, Chile, Paraguay, and then I got involved in a war in China with Japan, and I was trying to push in on Nanking before I finished. James says, as a combination, you have more tanks than you can shake a stick out. There's never a problem with that. No, won't be game based. You need to get some infantry for O Group from PSC. They're the best. A box of PSC infantry will do you a battalion easily. Freegal says your 50mm Romans for Art de la Guerre and some 28mm horses. Evening, Richard. Hey, up to you. Morskis Jonas, trying to figure out how to paint Napoleonic French line infantry and not turnip them. As CC says, I'm finally finishing my winter project. 7 Years War, 50mm French army with a painting Hussar command base. It's a big mix in it tonight. There's a lot going on out there. It's great. 16 folks watching, 6 likes. Change that. Hit that like button. You know what to do. So first of all, I'm just going to get some block colours onto these Americans before I do anything else. Very simple. I've followed the instructions on the back of the box, basically, which is for the jackets, stone grey, for their helmets, brown violet, and for their trousers, US olive drab, and then buff for their kit. So I'm just going to try and get as much as this down first of all, and then I might get to a point of agraxing them, but I doubt it. We'll see. There's only a few to do. Richard says you're doing a bit of kit bashing for 3D printing. Excellent. Let's say a real mix of things going on, isn't it? It's always good. Thanks for those likes, everybody. And thank you everybody for tuning in as well. If you've got any questions you want to ask, chuck them in the old chat. You're not painting much tonight. Yesterday did a few hours cleaning up some 1/300th. Excellent. First or Second World War aircraft. Hopefully paint them up in the next few days. PSC 15mm Germans. Brilliant. Good stuff. I'm assuming the World War II aircraft are for Bag the Hun there, Kevin. Great game, which I've not played for a little while actually. I keep meaning to take it back down to the club at some point, or getting the guys to play a game, because I've not played it for a while. So I think I might do. This week though, we're playing Strength of Honour, because the club is putting on a participation game at Partisan in a couple of weeks, and I said I'd help out. So I kind of need to learn how to play Strength of Honour before I go. So that's we did it last week, and the rules are relatively simple once it gets going. So we just need to know some of the basic stuff, really, I think. But I shall also be filming the Partisan as well while I'm there. So that's the plan. I don't know. I don't suppose anybody knows. I've not checked it if there is a bring and buy at Partisan, because I'm currently selling a load of rules on eBay, but they're not shifting, so I might just take them down Partisan and get them sold on if there is a bring and buy. I don't know if there is. What's Peter saying? You're embarking on Napoleonic Austrians. You're torn between using apothecary white and skeleton horde for the infantry uniforms as off-white, with the crossbell straps in pure white. That'd be a good choice, I think, because I think they used pipe clay, didn't they, to clean up the belts and things, so they would probably be automatically a bit brighter, and also if not, they were leather anyway, I think, weren't they? So they'd stand out a little bit, and also just give you a little bit of what's the word, contrast as well, wouldn't it, on the figures, so they're not just a block of white. I think that's probably the way I'd do it as well. It seems like a good idea. Even having a backer, quiet evening, going through tidying up bits, boxes, what have you, good stuff. Doing a bit of admin, there's nothing wrong with that. Looks like there's a good crowd of you out tonight. I'm assuming that's because it's because there was no plastic crack podcast last night. I'm hoovering up their viewers, I'm assuming. Apart from James, is there anybody else out there who was at CrackCon this weekend? Had a great laugh. A good day of gaming, but I was absolutely banjacked by the end of it, so I just had to nip off home. Watching a few bids to get to know the rules. Vids, I'm assuming. I have clicked like immediately on entry. Don't let you down. Hello, Andy Bouffard. You're watching a few bids. I'm assuming that's vids, Kevin, to get to know the rules. I'm hoping to get to Partisan. Mrs. Birthday for my good boy. Well, fingers crossed. Not seen a bring and buy on the floor plan. Okay, yeah, I've not checked the floor plan, so I'll do that. I can't remember if it was at Hammerhead there was a bring and buy. I think there was, and no, maybe not at Partisan. When are you going to play a report another game of old group? Pressure. I've got one lined up, actually, one that Dean and I played a few weeks ago. I've not put it out yet because I've got a backup of videos that I'm working my way through, so it will be out, but give it a few more weeks. But yes, there is another game that we played, The Highway to Hell. I know the Lardies were recording an old group video yesterday, at least. Chris told me at the weekend, and because they'd seen somebody was talking in my comments about making videos about some of the aspects of the game and stuff. So I said I would, and they've jumped in and they've gone and done it themselves, an official one. But I think I'll still do some, like, how to play, not so much how to play, but more like specific guides on what you call it, on specific aspects of it, like some of the stuff that a lot of people may not understand from a military point of view, I guess. You saw a video demoing undercoating with a dark colour, then using white. I was impressed with the resulting shading. Okay, fair enough. Yeah, I've not really done that myself. Well, I suppose I have, because I've used black undercoat sometimes on 6mm figures anyway, and then gone with white over the top, because it's quite a nice stark contrast between the white and the black if you get the pigment right in your paints, I guess. You were just under 3,000 kilometres from CrackCon. Yeah, that counts, don't you worry. Do you know what the next campaign book will be for group? You're asking the man who doesn't know. I think there will be Market Garden book sometime. I can't remember where I saw it, but somebody did mention that there was going to, it was either in, it might have been in the old group Facebook group. I think they're going to do a specific airborne one for Normandy, which I would assume Market Garden, since that is a bit of a favourite of the laddies. I don't know what the next O Group one is going to be, but I know from what Chris had said, well, Dave Brown also sent me the work in progress of the Japanese battalions for CrackCon. Whether that's the next one, I doubt it, because that's probably a bit more obscure. That'll be later on, I think. But I think, from what Dave told me at Salute, is I think they were going to try to cover as much as possible as well anyway, specific campaigns. So just keep an eye out, I think, is the short answer there. But yes, there should be one that will be covering both the US, I would assume, US and British airborne specifically, so that will be interesting. It might be I might have a look at doing an American and British airborne battalion for it at some point in the future. I don't think I've got enough Plastic Soldier Company figures of the British airborne left over. I'll have to have a check and see how many I need, because I was using for the chain. I used 30 or 40 of them for chain of command. Okay, we've got 90 watches, 15 likes. Hit that button, folks. And if you don't subscribe to the channel, do subscribe to the channel. I guess most of you probably do anyway, because otherwise it wouldn't have come up on your feeds. But if you don't subscribe, I said it before in one of the other videos recently, that the way that YouTube works, if you just watch one or two of my videos, even if you're not subscribed, it'll still recommend them to you, but you just don't see the most recent ones. So subscribing to a pretty good idea if you want to keep up with the stuff that I put out. Anyway, that's the call to action over, so don't worry about it. But yes, so I'm looking forward as much as you are, Andy, to the next O Group book. It's all I can tell you at this point. I have no inside knowledge, because I think they're also working on some General d'Armée stuff as well. Chris was saying, I think they've got quite a few things, bits and pieces that Dave is working on at the moment, but I wasn't sure 100%. Okay, we've got 25 viewers now. Excellent. You've been pitting British AB against the Fallschirmjäger around Primisol. Excellent. Good stuff. Interesting things. Oops. Where have you got the list for those from? Just made them from the ones in the book itself. Just splurged a load of paint everywhere. Silly of me. And also, if you're on Facebook and you're not a member of the Storm of Steel Facebook group, get yourself over there and join. I'll let you in the difficult process of. We're nearly on 250 members at this point, so do go and join it. It costs you nothing, and then post some stuff in there as well. After action reports and painting stuff, anything that you want, and your videos. Whatever you're doing hobby wise, go and stick it in the group, or just say hello. Either or, really. Yeah, I based my Japanese battalions on some of the early British, on the British battalions, and then just kind of swap some of the bits around. I mean, with the point system, most stuff is pretty similarly priced, no matter where you are, really. No matter what you're using. I like the campaign books because they give you that just a few extra battalions and just a few extra bits and pieces to play with. I keep meaning to go back to Poor Bloody Infantry, PBI by Peter Pigg, and having a look at that, working my way through that. I started reading it. I noticed there's quite a lot of similarities to square bashing, so I don't think it's going to be a very difficult read, to be honest. Evening, Andy. Good to have you on board. Just chatting about O Group, which you played the other day. Andy, did you go back and have a read of the rules again after CrackCon? Did it make a bit more sense? I hope it did. Made more sense to me having Chris there. There's loads of little bits and pieces that I always forget. That's the problem. But that's the reason why you play games. You came in late. What am I painting? I'm actually painting stuff for O Group. These are the American support. So I've got this as 60mm mortars, and these are their MMGs as well. It's the Plastic Soldier Company's heavy weapons, American heavy weapons. That's what I'm just trying to finish them off for the campaign book. And then in the post I've got I've got 57mm anti-tank gun from Peter Pigg, along with 3 105 howitzers as well, so I can use those as support guns. Again, all for O Group, but I just need a couple of bits and pieces to finish off my battalions for the actual Normandy book. You've been working your way through the quick reference sheets. Evening, Rich. I'm trying to play the game as much as possible off the quick reference sheets, rather than having to refer to the rules themselves. They're pretty good because they're pretty full, basically, of everything that you really need. There's very few things that you need to refer back to the book to, I think, once you start playing. But yeah, I'd rather use the QRFs. Afternoon, Pierre. I would like to rage. Good to have you on board. Long time no see. I hope you're doing well. I've not seen any of your stuff on Twitter for a while. You've been a bit quiet, unless I've been a bit quiet on Twitter as well. Of late, I've just not. I'll keep using Twitter, but I'll kind of I post some bits and pieces up there. I've just kind of stopped a little bit. No reason. It just happens, these things, doesn't it? Things going in out of fashion sometimes. What's we up to? Sam Mustafa's Rommel rule set. Use a square bashing PBI game setup. I haven't played it. We passed the rules up. Yeah, I've got a copy of it and I have played it, and I do like Rommel. I like it a lot. It's it's a very nice, simple game when it gets down to the nitty gritty of the combat. The only thing I didn't like so much about Rommel is that it advertises itself as a strategic level game. It doesn't really feel like it. It still feels relatively tactical, and it kind of said that there was supposed to be what we call it, logistics and stuff in it, and there's not really. It just kind of says, as long as you can trace a line back to your back line, you're in supply. Because I was looking forward to that part of it. So yeah, it's a good game. I'm trying to work out a way of actually playing it solo, if anything, because it's difficult because you've got those cards. You're hoping to get down to your local club first time in over a month. I have to chat with my mate about all group rules. See about getting them. Thinking about changing my Japanese troops. Yeah, good stuff. Get onto it. You're doing well, but your hobby space is under demolition, reconstruction through them. Oh dear me. Well, hopefully it'll pull through. And hello, Miles. Good to have you on board. How are you doing this fine evening or morning or whatever it is in Chesapeake Bay? I hope Gus is not playing up too much. Yes. So yeah, I liked Rommel, but we only played a few games of it. I'd like to go back to it at some point. I did a couple of videos on it, a couple of how to play videos early on. I wouldn't mind revisiting it at some point because it is a nice little game. Rommel is Saga for World War II, but it does give a very quick game. Yes, yeah, I tend to agree with that. I actually changed the those battle boards, so-called, you know what they call them, ops boards. I changed those into cards. So you had a hand of cards with those, with the options on instead. And Paul at the club was one of the play testers for it, and he told me that Sam Mustafa was going to originally make the ops card into a card driven thing, but it would have just been far too expensive to produce the cards, so that's why it went with the ops board instead. But I find the actual board itself quite fiddly, whereas if you just make a set of cards, you can it's a lot easier because you just play the card out of your hand and you know if you've used it or not, and then you can gather them all back up again. So, and yes, it is a quick game for its level, and I like it because it abstracts stuff, and I like things that are abstracted. I'm not interested in the minutiae of what weapons they're using. What we got? Who else is it? CC says it's Chesapeake Bay, your old stamping ground. Evening, Dom. Good to have you on board. I hope you recovered from the other day. Gussie's doing well. It's a glorious and sunny day here on Chesapeake Bay. Brilliant. Sounds fantastic. It's a glorious sunny day here in Rotherham as well. We should have another game at some point, Miles, you and I. That would be fun. We could get together, well, via the magic of the internet. Because I've been thinking about doing Blucher on a grid. I think it would work very well, having played Strength and Honour, and seeing how well that works. I think for an online game, grid games are probably the best ones. Basement 1908, thanks for taking the time out. You are awesome, thank you. I'm not sure what I took the time for, Basement 1908, but I'll take that. And House Hero Quest. Did Dom win Hero Quest? Because that was a prize that I wanted. I suppose it was a prize that pretty much everybody wanted, to be honest. I'd have been happy with that. I won the what was it? The Age of Sigmar starter set. That's what I won, but I gave it back. Hello, Guy, and hello everyone from Belgium. Excellent. Whereabouts in Belgium? Anywhere near Ypres or Waterloo, perhaps? Name it. My French are looking to kick some butts, like they did last time. Yeah. Thinking about it, maybe I won't let you play. I can't get beaten in my house twice. Not by the fellas over the other side of the Atlantic, anyway. But no, I'll think about it. I've been trying to write the rules a little bit and put some ideas down. So let me have a think about it, because I wanted to introduce variable movement to grid-based games, and they've done it really well in Strength and Honour. where you just have to roll to activate, and I think that would work really well with Blucher, where you just have, you know, conscripts will move less likely to move, and cavalry are more likely to move further, that kind of thing. Antwerp, excellent. We tied last time. No, you captured Quatre Bras. You got in. Do you not remember? It was a French victory. I couldn't push you out. You just had to cut the road. Oh no, hang on, yeah. You didn't cut the road, did you? It's been too long. I've forgotten. Don't forget, folks, hit that like button if you're enjoying the stream. The nonsense, the chat and nonsense, and all you newcomers, tell me what you're painting tonight, if anything, or what you're currently working on. I said it earlier. If you're not members of the Storm Steel Facebook group, nip over there and join it. It's just search on Facebook for groups Storm of Steel Wargaming, and you'll find it, and I'll let you in at some point. If you do a no group basic video, I wouldn't mind something that explains roughly how to base organised battalions. Been struggling with getting around it. Yeah, that's a good idea, actually. I was thinking about that, James. Just today, in fact. That would be a very simple, like, just how to build a battalion, because I think the problem is with the Second World War is a lot of people who play it in Wargaming do it at 1-to-1 scale. So as soon as you get to something abstract like Old Group, the idea that, you know, 3 men on a base is a section, it kind of blows people's mind a little bit. I mean, I'm used to it because we used to play rapid fire a lot, and that were, you know, it's not exactly 3 men to a base, but it's 8 men is a company or something like that. SS Bolt Action Friday, Flames of War, US Paras, good stuff. You're doing a French gun. A Franco-Prussian War. What are your thoughts on Footstar Kickstarter Outrima Crusade Estates? I have 0 thoughts on it, Andy. I haven't even seen it, and I have no idea what you're talking about. There you go, there's a short answer. As you may know, most of my wargaming really is very much based around First, Second World War and Napoleonic wargaming. I don't have a great deal of interest in stuff outside of that, and I've tried. I just can't really. I can't raise the interest because I think it's about history for me more than anything else, and I have to know and understand and enjoy and like the history of some a particular period before I get interested in it from a wargaming point of view. I think that's the way it works anyway. So I think the only thing I've ever read about the Crusaders was I got about halfway through Umberto Eco's First Crusade book, I think, years and years ago when I was at university, and it was very good. It was very interesting, but you know, it just didn't do from a wargamer's point of view. It didn't really do a great deal. It's the latest Barons War expansion. Okay. Last 3 Kickstarters have been great. Excellent stuff. I'm assuming they probably have already tested the market, because a lot of Kickstarters these days are more about putting out something that they know is going to sell, don't they, really? Rather than it's more like almost like a pre-order kind of way of doing things these days, isn't it? Rather than we want to do this. So look, it's the latest release after the Barons War. There you go. Lovely minis. French Grenadiers Cheval and the Garde Imperiale. Excellent. Lots of lace. Dom says the Outrima figures were very nice. Never played Barons War. They're doing a castle as part of the Kickstarter. Excellent. Yeah, I saw the game at Hammerhead. but I didn't play it, and they had a massive castle there, so I wonder if that's part of the Kickstarter that they're doing. So I think it was the actual people who'd produced the Barons' War stuff, and it seems to be quite popular at the moment, doesn't it? A lot of people seem to be into it. Again, like, you know, it's not, as I say, it's not particularly my period, so it's not something that I've really explored or thought about. Castle. You never had too many castles. I was chatting to Martin at what you call it, a CrackCon on the weekend about castles, and the castle that he's got. He was saying it covers about a quarter of his board, and he's going to use the Warhammer Fantasy Battle siege rules from about 8 million years ago. He said they were pretty good rules. I remember those coming out. I remember the Warhammer Castle, the old polystyrene thing, wasn't it? Never had a copy of it, but I remember it being around and costed about £8 million even then. Yeah, it was classic. I remember them having the rules and stuff, and I think they're pretty in depth as well. So I seem to remember reading them, at least in Games Workshop. If not, I didn't buy them, but you know, actually looking at them, at least. STL files or a physical project. Ken won the Hero Quest set. Oh yeah, he was chuffed. Oh yes, he did. Yeah. Random, yeah. That's right. Evening, Ken. Dropped to say hello. Finish off some Papal Zouaves. Excellent. Good stuff. Real big mix of things going on. Nothing wrong with that. Well, I'm just coming to the end of these. I don't know if I'm going to do any more of the details on these. I might leave them till later. Let these. I've basically got the basic uniform colours down on them at this point. So that's just their helmets and their jackets and their trousers. So what I might do now is turn my attention to this building. Crack on with that a little bit, I think. And that's the thing. Peter says, has anybody tried Warwick Kinraid's Soldiers of Napoleon new cards? No, but he was playing it at CrackCon at the weekend. So I've seen it, and it's on the video. But how it plays, how it is, I have no idea. You'd have to ask some of the other people. I think Dom was hanging around there, so he might have a better of an idea about it. But yeah, I don't know how it plays or anything like that. Someone plays O Group. Yeah, a couple of times. Right, so I've got this garden with a little shed in it, and I was thinking I might paint the shed in red, just to give it a nice little bit of colour, really. So basically, you saw Warwick playing them at the weekend. Got to talk to him about it. Seems very good, card driven. There you go. James says, look good at CrackCon, but didn't see too much of it. It's kind of difficult to tell, isn't it, really, unless you're actually playing the game when you're looking at a game, because a lot of the Napoleonic stuff looks very similar from a gaming point of view, doesn't it? Unless you're actually in the rules themselves, it's a bit different. You had your son design and print some Battalion HQ stand frames. Oh, with a slot for command dice. Very nice. That's a really good idea. I just made mine on large Flames of War bases. Evening, Wardrobe. Yeah, CrackCon was great. It was a good gathering of gamers. It was really good. My only regret is I didn't stay for the evening, but I saw that everybody went out to the pub at 8 o'clock, and I'd have been kind of kicking my heels for a couple of hours, so I decided to head back home, feed the cats. That's what I did instead. I was shattered anyway. If I'd have been staying down there, I probably would have. I would have gone out, but it was a tiring day. But it always is. It takes it out of you, and we're not getting any younger. So this has got a nice little brick wall on this. What's this on this garden? So that's going to be easy. I'm just painting it in some cheapo brick red colour, and then what I'll do is I'll give this a wash of white flurry wash of white, and then wipe that off, and that'll look like the mortar in the bricks. Nice and easy. Pub trip was great, well worth staying for. Sean was cracking us all up with stories. Good stuff. That's what you want. That's what you want. The only problem with these walls is the shed is too close to the wall, so I can't actually get the paintbrush down without getting paint either on the shed or on the wall. So I'm not sure what I'll have to do with that. I might just have to ignore that little patch. Nobody's looking at it anyway. These frames fit large flames of wall bases. Excellent, good stuff. Perfect then. Because it's a nice size, the large flames of war base for your HQ, I think. It's you can make a nice little vignette out of it. Yeah, good stuff. Exactly what you want. I've kind of found a bit of a technique, I guess, with these things at this point. Yorkshire says, Tim says, I have an order in for a BFF battalion. 50mm for O group. Excellent. 1940, is that, Tim? So the 1940 handbook. The Fall of France handbook. I think Tom Chase asked me about it the other week. He said, would I be doing a French thing? And I'm not that fussed about it. Again, that's another. Although I'm interested in the Second World War, that's for some reason just a campaign that just doesn't fire my imagination, really. I don't know why, because a lot of people like it a lot. I've indoctrinated him. True. Well, he enjoyed it so much, I think, is the bottom line. That's what it's all about. He's not the only one. It was James was saying as well. His boot. Well, I saw it. His boot was full of 50mm Flames of War stuff as well. The more the merrier. You got the rules coming too. Yeah, good stuff. Yeah. I've got the 1940 Fall of France one because I'm a bit of a completist sometimes, and I just thought I'll buy it anyway because it's the first, for the price of it, 10 quid, it's nothing. And but it's just one day, you never know, I might do something because I've certainly got enough Germans to do that kind of thing. I just need to put together an early war British or French battalion, so it wouldn't be a huge undertaking on my part, I wouldn't think. I've got pretty much Germans for everything that you would need, even most of the obscure little vehicles as well. Stick some moss between the shed and the hedge and Saints foliage. Yeah, good idea, Rich. I might do just that. You're planning on the other Italian war, the Garibaldi for Crackon 3? Oh, that's a question for Yorkshire. I blame Alex. So I thought the hashtag I blame Storm of Steel. Garibaldi. So Yorkshire's going to be there with his biscuits. You have to do the Bourbons after. I was thinking about what for Crackon 3 I could do. Maybe square bashing, perhaps. But I don't have a cloth that's got a grid on it. I've only got an MDF board. I don't particularly want to drag an MDF board all the way down to Derby. The other alternative was I thought maybe something like algae or something. I could bring along the. I've got my hex grid, and that's a good crack for lots of people to get involved. And you can drop in and out of it really as your plane gets shot down, I guess, or let somebody else take over. So yeah, there's a. Oh dear, I think my connection is. So my connection had just gone down there. I do apologise. Right, now I've got to think about what colour I'm going to paint this house in now. Or should I do the? Shall I do the roof first while I think about it? Because I'm not sure what. I've kind of gone through all my light greys at this point. And I'm trying to make them as different as possible, really. Hi, K. I'm assuming that's hi, Ken. You're thinking of Blood and Plunder and Valor again with CC3 evening. Had a great blast. Algie was brilliant. You enjoyed the game, didn't you, when you played it, James? We played it at the club, didn't we, a few weeks ago? And it was a right laugh. As long as everybody's having a laugh, that's what it's all about, isn't it? And I think everybody was. I'm going to go with pale grey blue this time, I think, on this one. That's going to be the colour for today. You'd second Algian, even fly over the pond for it. Excellent. That'd be good to see you there at it. But yeah, I thought CrackCon was very well organised. Just a good day of gaming. I was talking to Dom about it briefly, I think, until we were interrupted by somebody. The difference with going to something like Partisan, where it's a more of a convention and an actual dedicated gaming day, because I've been to the Lardy's gaming days as well. The gaming days they're very different, and I know a lot of people go to conventions to play games, especially in America. Like Historicon and stuff is set up to play games, isn't it, for a week? So it's more of a gaming day than a convention. Like with the conventions like Partisan, I'll just go and I'll walk around and look at everything, but I generally don't play, really. I don't bother so much. I think with a games day it's a bit different, because you can get involved a bit more in a game rather than just doing a half-hour participation and moving on to the next thing. It's nice to actually sit down and do a full day of gaming, as we did with O Group. I know I wasn't there for half of it because I kept buggering off, but the fact that we were able to play out a scenario from beginning to end of a relatively big game. I know that's not a big game in Ken's world, but a big game in 15 mil world. And I just thought that it was, there's quite a difference between them. I think I prefer the gaming days, because I've always enjoyed the Lardy gaming days that I've been to. Again, the way that works is you do a game in the morning, then you have another game in the afternoon. So you have maybe 3 hours of each game. So you get a good choice of games to play as well. Ken, Yorkshire Gamer, had his If the Lord Should Spare Us game at Steel Lard, and that was good because it went throughout the entire day, so we all swapped over though halfway through, and that was really good. You're hoping CrackCon 3 won't be on my wedding anniversary next year. Hope to get there, play a few games with you guys. Well, that'd be good. Tell Dom. I'll tell him when your wedding anniversary is. I guess the thing with the game days is, though, they have to be... You can't just let everybody in, can you? That's the problem, because you've only got a certain amount of games and a certain amount of space, whereas with a convention you can get thousands through the door, because you're not as... people are just moving through all the time. You're not tied down to something for a day. But yeah, I'm not sure. I think they both have their merits. But I think at this point I just kind of like the gaming's days, really. And I enjoy hosting the games as well. That's the other thing I've kind of gotten used to as well, probably through making videos. It's almost like you're hosting a game as well, in that way, for people to watch. Probably be May again, although I'm not sure what day yet. We need to avoid shows and school holidays. Yeah. Bring your other half. I want to tell my wife to watch Bradford City away at Accrington Stanley on our way. Thanks, Greyfish the Grey Phones, subscribing. Is she a footy fan, Ken, or is she very appreciative of that? That's I mean, that's Yorkshire romance right there, isn't it? Is this a little house? Yes, it is a little house. It's another one of the 3D printed houses that I've been slowly working my way through. I probably bought a few too many of these, but I didn't really think about it when I was ordering them. Paul at Sabotage is actually going to send me a bunch of fences through. so some 50mm fences. Then I can make a start on those Russian houses that I've got as well, because I want to kind of get those done and get them out of the way. But I've been waiting for some. I wanted some fences so I can just put them around the outside and turn them into little vignettes. Basically, I paid about 10 quid for 4 foot of fence. Can't say fairer than that. So they'll be winging their way to me in the next couple of days, I would think, because he's very quick. If you don't know how to pronounce my name, it was Grey Fier. Oh, Grey Fier. Sorry, I just saw I thought it was Grey Fish. Grey Fier. I think I've got it right there. Apologies if I haven't. Mrs. Sar's a big Bradford fan. She swears at the ref like a trooper. Well, there you go. Then it is romance. Nothing wrong with that. That's what you enjoy. I can't remember which bloody grey it was I just used. It wasn't that one, pale grey blue. I can't even find it. This place has too much of a tip. I need to sort it all out. Where have I put it? Sky grey. There it is. There it is. Singe painting for a house-to-house chain of commands. No. I was just painting. What I was trying to do was with these. I was kind of trying to update my scenery, because the scenery that I've got that I use, some of it goes back to about 1996, and I made it by hand, and it's not very good. So I kind of upgraded it with the with some of the brick, embossed brick paper that I managed to get off eBay. And then suddenly everybody was buying, and basically wrapped those up in it. But because they were made out of foam board, and I didn't make them very well, they're still a bit tatty. They don't look great. So I just asked Paul if he could do me a favour and do me a load of houses, and so he did these for me. So I just thought, well, you know, I've got some money to spend, so just buy a load of them at once. I've currently got about 10 of them done at this point, because I think I've got about 16, 17 at this point. Hello 39 step 4. Don't worry about just arriving. It's good to have you on board. And so yeah, it was just a really case of trying to like upgrade the old stuff. I just haven't got rid of the old stuff yet, so I've still got this. You like art school, art centre, art studio, art store, and more arts. Good stuff. Nothing wrong for that. We're all artists here in some way or another. What paint do I use for the houses? Art schools, church schools and career schools are friendly in the USA. Good stuff. Which paint do I use? Hello, Freegal 2909. Thank you very much for being a supporter. That's great. Which paint do I use for the houses? Well, for big areas I usually use these things. Deco Art. This one is Heritage Brick. I've got this one. I've got another one I use for yellow for dry brushing green and things. When I'm undercoating, I'll use this stuff. Cheapo Burnt Umber, or Shit Brown as it's also known. Because these are cheap, so I use these to cover large areas. But I'm also using Vallejo stuff as well for some of the other bits and pieces as well. You came to your garage to paint your 10mm Falklands project. How much will I get done with this distraction? Hey, not my fault. I'm just here to entertain you. So, I mean, I probably really shouldn't be using Vallejo paints on such big models, because they're expensive and they don't go very far. So I should be using other paints, but I've got them and they're at hand, and that's, it's good enough for me. What else am I going to use them for if not for painting, eh? But thank you for being a supporting member, Fiegel. That's very, very much appreciated. welcome on board. What I normally do for supporting members is, I don't know if CC, I think CC has noticed this, that I will put up community posts that are for members only, with videos, early release videos, usually on a Monday, around the same time that I do it for Patreons as well. So you get to see videos early. So just check my community posts, because I make them specific for supporting members. Do you know what? I've got the wrong bloody grey here. I've gone sky grey when it was actually blue grey that I had before. Never mind. You did the trench system with Leo paint. Didn't even use a bottle. There you go. It does go quite far, doesn't it? If you wanted to. Painting Napoleon and Bashiers from Commission Commissar Miniatures. We were just talking about Warren's Soldiers of Napoleon. No, we haven't. Saw it, didn't play it. Or did you ask earlier on? Yes, I am, and enjoyed the Undaunted Normandy video. Good stuff. Good. Yes, I saw that you'd commented on it. I've not replied to you yet, but I will do. It's a good game, isn't it? Undaunted Normandy. And it works well as a nice little solo as well, if you want. If you can't find anybody to play it. It is a great little game. I'm looking forward to the Stalingrad expansion that they're going to be bringing out soon. This is doing me head in, the fact that I've got the wrong bloody colour. Let's see, it was pale grey blue. There will be demonstrated crack. You're busy with your own game. Yes, same as all of us. I think, Ken, we all saw, but nobody played. No, have I got the right colour this time? Let's try again, shall we? Yes, there you go, that's right. So it's all you lot distracting me in the chat. As I'm coming up on 7,500 viewers, subscribers as well at the moment. And I did say originally I was going to do something special for it, a giveaway. I've decided to hold that off actually. And I'm actually going to do it for the 10,000. I don't know what I'll do for the 7,500. I might do something, but the giveaway I'm going to hold off, because I figured I'd have to up the ante even more for 10,000 if I was doing something relatively big for a 7,000 giveaway, wouldn't I? And you know, I'm only a poor archaeologist, so I can't afford to keep buying things to give away. Well, I can, but I can't, but I can, but I can't. You know what I mean? Does that make sense? So I'm not sure what I'll do for 7,500. Any suggestions are gratefully welcomed. Maybe an Ask Me Anything or something like that. Reese says you're doing some 3mm 7 Years War Prussians right now. Excellent. I hope you're painting the eyes on them at 3mm. It should be anyway. I do like those small scales for the big battle look. I think it's really good, because it means you can do everything on a much smaller table, smaller scale, but still get that impression of it. I know Ken will argue against it. A PDF copy of O Group? Maybe. Have I seen any jumbo crayons? No, I haven't seen any jumbo crayons. I never used them. Don't know what they'd be used for. And a 5 o'clock shadow. Yes, exactly that. I've been thinking, because over the last few weeks I've not really painted a great deal. I'm working this weekend. We're doing a community excavation on some suspected Second World War Home Guard trenches, which is going to be interesting. So my painting output is probably going to be quite low, and also it's the Eurovision Song Contest as well. But I was thinking about, I don't know, I've been painting a lot of figures of late and a lot of scenery and stuff, and I might just have a break from it all and go and get I've got in my to-do pile, I've got 2 First World War aircraft. I've got a Sopwith Camel and an SE-5A, which I daren't touch because of the rigging, and I've also got a 1/35th scale T-34, and I was just thinking about maybe doing some what we call it, some large scale modelling, just because they're nice projects. You know, you can just finish them, start them and finish them. I've not got a T-34. Roman coin from a local tip would just do for Mr. Archaeologist. Well, it would do, but then I'd also get into trouble with the portable antiquities scheme. So it wouldn't. I know they'd look down on me from that. Norris Dougie. Hey up. I can dig up my will to live at work would be fantastic. Okay. I'll try my best. Dougie. Smaller table, what is this heresy? Yes. See, there you go. We've wound him up. I should have brought you some round dice at the weekend, Ken. I should have bought some specifically and give you those as a little present. Let you see you go mad. You'd like that, wouldn't you? So right now, I'm just filling in the details on these buildings again now. What are we on? We've been at it now. Jumbo cranes are the really large cranes. No. It's okay, Kenny was just triggering you. Yeah, too right. Always triggering him. It's what the lad deserves. So currently just cutting in here. I'm going to go back to the bigger brush in a second and just hit the large areas once more. You tried to buy Ken round dice twice and both orders cancelled. You literally can't buy them. Well, I've got one then. I've got one in my dice collection, along with my famous 5 dice. And I think I've got some football dice as well from some weird, obscure football game. I might look like I'm making a bit of a mess of this at the moment, and I am. But I think if you were watching last week, you'll know what I do. I basically just bang in a load of block colours and then I'll go back and I'll neaten it all up afterwards. So that's kind of what the stage I'm doing at the moment. And make sure I paint the round dice. Round dice, brutal. It's showing up with the death of you with his strange ways. Is there anywhere on your bucket list that you want to dig at from an archaeological point of view? Well, that's a very good question, Andrew. Well, I've dug in a lot of places. I always said I think my dream job would be to start in Belgium on the First World War trenches and then just work my way down the entire length of the 500-mile front all the way down to Switzerland, just excavating the trenches as I go. That would be my dream bucket list, I think. But I've done a lot of interesting stuff already because I've worked in Ireland, I've worked in Japan, I've worked in Singapore, I've worked in Iceland, Tanzania. So I've covered most of the corners of the world archaeologically, apart from South and North America. So those are off the list, I guess. I've already done them. Been there, done that. Hadrian's Wall. No, not really. I've been to Hadrian's Wall. It's very nice. I'm not that interested in Romans, though. I've dug tons and tons of Roman sites in my time, so I'm not that fussed about them. I would say it'd be more specific, like First World War stuff, really. I'd just like to go out. Well, I'm kind of already doing that, you know. We've not been out for a few years, but working at Bullock, any of the other sites that I've worked on in the past, I think that's kind of like the stuff that I'm really interested in. I mean, to be honest, I'm a pen pusher these days anyway. I don't even dig. I get other people to do it, and I just watch them and tell them to dig. So I wouldn't even know how to use a mattock these days, I don't think. It's not a great answer, that, is it? I should think of something a bit better. I'm trying to think of what I could, what I would do. I don't know. Maybe I don't know. Nice. If it's not First World War, I'd say probably I don't know. Maybe something Viking, perhaps. World War One Eastern Front. Perhaps, yeah. Maybe World War Two Eastern Front stuff. First World War stuff is not particularly dangerous. I've been doing it for nearly 20 years recently. The worst I've ever got is a cut on my hand from a flint, and I smashed a gas cylinder with my mattock as well a couple of times. You've got to be cautious, of course, because there are live munitions, but touch wood, so far none of our team have ever been hurt. Like I say, more than really just getting a couple of grazes and cuts with various bits and pieces, flints and things like that. Dark blue grey, that'll do. And a TV star. Yes, yeah. I've been on telly plenty of times. It's funny how that show, everybody only saw it on the repeat. They didn't see it when it first came out. Oh, I'm sorry. It says I'm not getting enough video to maintain a smooth streaming. Oh, it keeps coming in and out. That was my project. That Dom, I was really in. We were supposed to be going back for another year of that, but then COVID hit, annoyingly. But it was good to get it on the TV. It was good fun having them around as well, because they were around for a day or so for the digging up Britain's past. But I was on the Finding the Fallen series as well. Excuse me. We did 2 series of that and a special as well. That sometimes comes up on History Channel every so often. And you can get the DVD at least of the first series, if not the rest of them. Why my hands is so big, but everyone who used to kids as small hands using crayons for drawing art, so they get older now. The bigger hands destroying crayons, breaking up accidentally. Fair enough. So yeah, right. I think all I'm going to do, I'm just going to get the roof on this little building. I'm just going to paint this up now, because we've been at it just over an hour, and I think that's going to do me for tonight. If you're enjoying this and you haven't liked the video, please do like it. If you're watching this and enjoying it and you aren't subscribed, then do subscribe as well, please. It's all appreciated. And we'll be back at it again next week at some point, I'm sure. Well, I'm not going just yet. Well, I will do in a minute, once I've done this bit. Just want to get these. I hope everybody else has managed to get some good painting going tonight. I'm actually going to head off and I'm going to watch the Better Call Saul. The next episode of that. What do you say? It was interesting. I was watching with Mrs. C and I suddenly saw your mug and had to freeze it. I think you'd see it was you. Took you by surprise, eh? Yeah, it's funny. I got, like I say, first time it was on, despite me telling everybody on Facebook to watch it, nobody watched it. Second time it was on, I was getting messages off people left, right and centre saying, "Oh, I saw you on telly last night." I didn't even realise they'd repeated it. 15mm universal carrier. It's so tiny. Glad you knew. It's so tiny. I think they're quite big vehicles then, even in 15mm. What he's saying, Marcus is very similar to look for digital arts. Yeah, I'm sure it does. I don't know much about digital arts, but I'm sure I'm sure you know your stuff. Just painting these edges here, and then I think I'm gonna call it an evening on that. That's not bad. I've managed to make a start on those Americans, and I've also made a start on this house as well. Whether I get them finished by the weekend is another matter, but we'll see. This week's hobby update might be a work in progress of what's come through the post. So I got the new Tank Crew book as well, the first tank crews by Stephen Pope. If you're interested in First World War tanks, check that out. It's very good. It's from Helion. It's not cheap, but it looks worth it. Packed full of info, as they say. So have a look good. Right, last little bits. As I say, I'm doing this pretty quick just because I want to get some of these block colours on really before I go back and neaten stuff up and cut things in and things like that. You were on Crime Watch. Thankfully no one rang in. Great unsolved mysteries. Right, that's that done. Well, partially done. As much as I kind of want to do tonight. I'll probably go blind. Usually about an hour is enough for me. Crimes Against Skirmish came in. About an hour is enough for me. You're looking forward to the Wargames campaigns by Henry Hyde? Yes, me too actually. That will be a good book. I'll probably do a review on that when I get it. Alex, have a good night. Hope to catch you hopefully at Partisan. Yep, again if you're around. And I shall see you all on the flip side. So thanks for watching everybody. Much appreciated. Thanks for all the likes. And I shall see you in the next live stream and Storm Steel video. See you later.